Hi guys, it's May. So it's a new contest starting for the entire month for everybody who comes to Facebook, joins, follows me, shares, comments, interacts, as well as on YouTube. It's counting each time you do it as one entry. So I'm going to give at the end of the month 3 20-minute readings. For those of you who want to know if you won, check the Facebook. I have announced 3 winners today for the month of April, pardon me. Okay, so let's start with the X spread. Hi guys, here is my X spread, and for those of you who know the significators, please look at the timestamp and you can just really go right into the reading. For those who are the first ones here or who still want to understand how am I making this actually work, just listen the explanation, and here it is. I have created a spread. It is known Cat Tarot Knows X spread, but it's also applicable for on and off relationships, and even to kind of like figure out the feelings and intricacies of your relationship. Why? Because I have actually used 7 categories, and 7, right? It's a kind of like really magic spiritual number, and also the entire spread numerologically adds up to 3. 3 is like that card of union of Trinity, so it is something that can kind of like raise from the ashes, right? So I'm just trying to figure out what can work, what cannot work. As I say in my private readings, you have to understand that not all relationships are meant to be. Like when you get together with someone, everything is really nice in the beginning. We want to charm, we want to be our best, but sort of like that enthusiasm maybe kind of like falls off with time. People get sidetracked, people meet other people. So one category here that I'm exploring, the very first one, is the Magician. So in tarot, Magician is a number 1. So of course it means, is this a go? Can this relationship ever be a starter? So what is Magician doing? Magician is somebody who comes to work and he goes, okay, let me crack my fingers and I'm going to start working. What do I need to do today? Wow. And there is a task, it's a little project list, and then he starts to manifest. So it's a start before the start. So what does he want to manifest? Look at the difference. He kind of like wants to use all the available tools, right? You see all of these tools here are now floating. They're activated. So I really want to see what is in this category. This category is going to tell me if you guys had all the ingredients to make a relationship. What in this category you have? Love, devotion, family, kind of like sharing. Then I say, yeah, like really good ground. Like there is like a great foundation for this. But what if you have, let's say, love and then lack of reputation or lack of family or jealousy? Then obviously, that's going to have issues. Sometimes it's just like downward negative. So the things that are supposed to help you are just basically things that are tearing you apart. And sometimes you have all but one element, and that one element seems to be important. It is like having 4 tires for a car and have an engine and have windshield and have all the other windows. Name it, rename it, and the key is there, and you start with a key, you try to crack it, and you realize, whoa, I don't have a gas. So you're not going anywhere with there. So this is why sometimes we feel that the one night stand was like more promising than it was, and it wasn't. It actually haven't ever been there. Maybe at the time and place it seemed kind of important, and it hasn't been important in a global kind of like scheme of things. And we as women, especially women, and even some more romantic men, and I would tend to think that these are the men who are actually coming to these tarot sessions with me. They're like lesser percentage, but there's still 25% of men over here. And I think these are quality men, and I wish that they actually speak up a little bit more, because people who connect with tarot really want to find out the real answers, and they really want to be in touch, or not only with the others but with themselves. So this is the category number 1. Category number 2, I picked this angel. I think it's Michael, who is trying to, I think, in biblical terms, merge wine and water. Well, that's not a really big deal. But here in tarot, it's basically talking about trying to merge two different things. So, of course, in a relationship, there are two different people, and even if you get along, you still have your own intricacies that might not really fit properly, right? So, what's basically happening here is, okay, let's put this together. Let's create this passion. Let's create this growth. Let's create this like solid emotions that we can kind of like step in. However, I'm asking for this card to be reversed. Why? In this category, I want to find out what doesn't work. What kind of like has to be fixed in order for things to kind of really work out. You see, in this after tarot, this angel is kind of manifesting. You see, one is connecting with emotions, another one is connecting with the sky. So literally you're getting, I mean, I love you as the sky is high and I love you as the sea is deep. Kind of like everything, kind of universal. And it's like still this like beaming with reaction. So what basically we're going to find out here is like if things that you have to build are sort of unbridgeable, if they can be built. So then I'm taking Queen of Wands, forget the horoscope associations. Of course, when I do Golden Dawn readings, I have to take everything in account. But even at that point, I'm just trying to see more or less personalities. But here I'm looking at how we really want to be seen in a relationship. So that's a significator for one party, generally for ladies. And if there are two ladies, then I put two Queen of Wands. If there are two guys, I put two King of Wands. So don't get all upset that this kind of represents fire signs, because when we start dating, we are all fire. We all start with fire, right? And it's kind of like fun, it's passionate, we are outgoing, we are playful, we are going out. Even if you're homebody, you will go out. Even if you're recluse, you will go out. Even if, you know, you generally are not very sexual, you'll still have sex. So this is talking about being a little bit different. This is our dating selves, right? So you see here, she has this like beautiful flower, right? And the kitty cat that is right now connecting to her. See, it's kind of like, okay, where do I move from here? Am I kind of staying in my element or not? So here is my communication card. I'm trying to figure out, so in this category here, pardon me, with Queen of Wands, I really want to see what your partner, how did your partner perceive you? So, right, like, I mean, you know that people are generally not really straightforward, and you can go as far as that they're not being honest. So they don't really tell you. They kind of tell you sort of medicated version or kind of sedated version of what they think. And kind of like they don't express generally things that they don't like. So you really don't know what the real opinion is. You just know what you heard. So this is basically telling us what your partner saw in you or how he saw you reacted. So kind of like get this perception they had from their side. Here with 8 of Wands, this is my communication card. With this card, I actually really want to see the intricacies of energies. So this can mean how did you communicate? This can mean how basically, how well do you mesh, right? So in this kind of like position here is showing, okay, are you firing back? Because these wands are falling back, the communication is coming your way. Are you communicating right back? And is this effective communication? So now this is a second significator, right? And this is also same thing. I picked the fire sign, basically significator, because the other person also wants to be seen as cool. This guy wants to be seen, oh my gosh, I'm so charismatic. She kind of like likes me, and you know, I am her king. And kind of like they want to feel this way. You see, kind of like he here has the little salamander, kind of just making his little first step, and here he's holding the salamander basically in his palm. Salamanders basically signify fire. Interestingly enough, even though they kind of reside in the rain, long time ago, in like 13th, 14th centuries, when they were creating these cards, they just saw salamanders jumping out from the fireplaces because they were kind of like be around there, and they thought they were fire animals, and that's how they were actually connected in tarot to fire. So And then I took judgment. And judgment is literally for me to feel out how karmically you basically are reacting. Because I also do karma readings. And in karma readings, I can totally see if people are repeating certain patterns, if they're bringing them from the past lives, and that's my past life reading. And it's kind of like it's easier to understand what's happening. But in this reading, I cannot go in 20, 30, 40 minutes of that. So I'm just trying to get at least an overview. So judgment card is talking about a situation that has been evolving. And maybe it's even dead, but it's come back to be alive just for rendering this opinion. So this is more or less a cosmic judgment, a karma card, right? So here are the two phases of that, right? Here it is like, we are here. What? Have it been good or not good? Is it make it or break it time? And here it is, okay, some of you are just going to be dead, right? So your relationship shouldn't go forward, or it should go forward. And this is what karma is saying, right? So I know that we all want relationships, but sometimes it's also good to get closure. And lastly, I'm picking this card, Four of Wands, because this is that celebration card, moving to the next stage. Four corners being solidified. So now, some people say this is a marriage. It just means the next step. It could be reunion, it could be reconciliation, it could be just the quality of your relationship. It's not lived happily ever after. Yeah, some of us have been brainwashed with that. You know, it should be called what it is, crap. And please, mothers, don't read these like bad stories to your kids, because if you look how those stories were in their original form, they were not kind or nice at all. So this is just basically saying, are you going to go to the next stage with this person? Because marriage, after all, is just the next stage. There are many marriages that are not working out because you're just starting to build from the scratch. So when I say sometimes in my readings, well, this one phase has to end, another one has to start. So this could mean you're going from dating to steady, from steady to engagement, from engagement, so and so forth, so on. So you see this kind of like movement in this phase is exactly that. You're going from the celebration, I say, okay, we are giving this a try. So in this category, I'm exploring how well you guys are going to do. So when I do all of these categories, then I sort of like look at the intricacies and how this works. So if category, which is supposed to be the glue, is just not forming the glue, no matter how much you want, you're going to fall apart. You can still stick together, hold on to each other like for dear life. It's not going to work out. And it's good to know. So guys, hopefully this is kind of more understanding the categories. Check it on my website as well if you want to see this video again. I'm going to post just a short clip there, but also explanation of each card is over there. And if you want to order this X spread, then you're getting energies that are just between the two of you, not these generic energies that I am actually explaining on my site. The difference is like here there are many people, and so basically some people are cross watchers and they bring their energy. So sure, it can give you some general opinion and you might see it here. Most of the time people do, but to get really the energy between 2 or 3 people, please contact me for a private reading. The prices are on my site, so visit me there at www.cattarot.ca. Thanks, love you. And guys, if you want your spread that is still on the special, it is $45. So please contact me. My information is in the description on the site, or go on my website www.cattarot.ca. Hi Leo, and let's check your dealing with the exes and what's going to happen. I see this little mini Leo in training over here. Hi Zeffy, say hi. Say hi. You like your little big cat? You like your big cat? Huh? Can I just do the reading for the big cats now? Huh? Yeah? You want to kiss all these big cats over there, right? You want to kiss them? Okay. Okay. So, Leo, let's see what's in the store for you here. And I did actually something extra this time around, in addition to this description, which maybe you didn't listen, but if you didn't and you're the first time in this reading, please do. It's going to explain these categories. This is like only seen here on Cat Tarot. The other people don't have the spread, even though I've seen few of them starting to use it, but I don't know as much as I know. So, okay. I did shuffle the cards already, and I don't look for the bottom, but I did look on the previous one, which was Aquarius, and then I actually peeked here. And when I peek now, I have to tell you. So there is something looking at the horizon. Somebody doesn't want to be single. The choice has to be made about how to go forward, or kind of like to continue in something nurturing. So let's go. What is in your toolbox? It's rejection of options, or not knowing which option to take, or look, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, and then you give them the last, like a kid, right, on a table. I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it, to make something special. Well, I don't want it either. So even in your toolbox, there is some kind of guarding of emotions, or maybe feeling that this is not the right thing and that you still have to wait for something else. What needs to be glued? Is there a wife or somebody there? Or is there kind of like some kind of like overindulgence? After all, you're Leo. You like to be royal. So one of the two things, we're going to see that later. How are you seen here? You see, this can be you, or this can be you, or kind of like it can be switching. So you will know, like, but somebody's being seen as somebody that does want to go back, right? And this is kind of like going to the safety, but let's not call it safety, going to the better place, moving on, let's put it that way. Finally, the emotions are being put to rest. This way is willing to come back to the situation, even though knowing that this is not a productive situation, and probably we shouldn't be in that kind of situation here. It can mean also discussion about the situation, just coming back to it, and you're being seen that you want to have this discussion. It looks like it was a situation where it was a wife or girlfriend or somebody else, and hence you felt, now you started to understand that this person is like not connecting with you because they're obviously dealing with so many things at the same time. Poor them. So communication could be some kind of new start. You see, that's kind of like a pentacle. This is not your energy, your fire energy. I would like to see kind of like wands here, but like at the same time, this is a good energy for something that has longevity, something that is built like on a friendship level, day to day. And if you really want to have a proper relationship, this is it. But that's also kind of like wife energy, and if wife is in a way, it kind of like, it's kind of hard to build something with something not being closed. And I'm just like wondering if this is the conversation that has to take place about, okay, what the heck you want, you know, where are we going with this, and then you know if you can build it. So let's see the partner. Ooh, the partner kind of like doesn't feel hopeful about it. There is a star reversed. So here is upright. Oh, communication. Look at this, like the creature, which kind of represents Aquarius at times. Talks about a naked woman who is not perfect by any means, right? Broad shoulders, just like Aquarius, and trying to kind of understand this like pool of emotions and kind of communication. And look at this bright star. But this means like that your partner is somehow not healing, that something has happened, that turned kind of like this whole communication to a halt. And yeah, it's kind of like, could be a breakdown of communication, could be the breakdown of this vision, seeing you as a couple. So the judgment. Jeffrey, are you going to lay down there? Judgment. Whoa, the judgment is seeing in this relationship there was not giving and take. This can also be seen as a third person, as you see, like two people kind of sharing the wealth. And here it is like, okay, this kind of like definitely is not there. Okay, let's see. Move it so the cat can have her I'm so sorry, are you buying me now? Look at that. Can I have the table, please? Thank you. See? As long as we know who is the boss here. I mean, Leo is the boss. So let's see the quality of this relationship. You got a temperance reversed. So quality of this relationship is like that so many things need to be glued there. There is no balance. And again, we've seen this here, not give and take, no balance. And like there are qualities in two partners that could be like, I mean, hard to put together. So let's see the second week. Woo, somebody's very smug. Look at this face. Can you imagine this kind of person, how happy he is that somebody lost? We see it in the sports all the time. And yet this, let's say, call them losers, they just drop their arms and they're walking away here to this basically water. So they're walking to basically drown themselves in emotions, if you really think about it. And this is kind of like here, you know, you cannot win with the other person losing in a relationship. That never ends well, and that's of course renders you hopeless. So what needs fixing here? See, somebody needs adoration. Leo, hint, you guys like to be adored. Maybe you haven't been adored. Maybe somebody else took the stage. And I don't blame you on this. In a relationship, you have to be adored, and you have to adore your partner. That's the way it is. If it's not working this way, I mean, what's the point, right? So how are you seen? See, you're seeing, like, I mean, like, now this is it. You're seeing the one who is willing to charge forward, who has this passion, who kind of like has the ability to bring forth kind of like things happening. Communication, second week is going to be, okay, what do I do? What do we do? Blindfolded, the moon, 2 swords, equal, each of them crossing. So what do I do? Am I with a guy? Am I not with a guy? Which guy do I want to? Which woman do I want to? Do I want to be with him, or I want to be alone? Or do I want to work or be alone? And because this is Ace of Pentacles, this also talks about focus to maybe building, could be also building a new job, something that sidetracks you, because now there are 2 pentacles here. Partner, you see, partner, again, this is again out of balance. So keeps talking about partner having something going on in their life. So we have 2 twos in a row over here, and both of them talking about decisions not still being there on the table. The Judgment. So now we have this 4 of Wands here, where it says, like, I mean, there's not enough to create this happiness. It still needs work. It still needs going on. Kind of like this next stage. You didn't reach the point of next stage. Like, I guess this lack of balance, obviously. And the reunion itself, reunion itself is saying, you know, somebody does wish to have this happy reunion, or this happy reunion may happen, in fact. This talks about marriages, reunions, coming together, and then actually these 2 together could mean it might happen, but it'll be delayed. It's going to happen, and it's delayed because of all this inside debating, and it's debating based on basically facts. You're Leo, right? And you're charging ahead, you're willing to charge ahead, but looks like maybe your partner is the one who might be debating, especially I see here air signs and earth signs having this inner debate a little bit longer. But again, here is like also the fire signs. It could be just the situation altogether is going to be the way that you might feel. So it's going to be some kind of conversation, it's going to be some discussion, but it's going to be, okay, which way do we go? It's going to feel indefinite. You're going to be into it, all for it. And maybe the person is going to feel, well, okay, is this hopeless? Can I handle it? Will I feel lost? You know? And then this together would mean, okay, you might get together with delay or with hesitation. So it's something still not going to be completely definite. Let's see the 3rd week. Okay, so you have in a toolbox, good things are gluing you. So sort of like you did have some past memories that are good memories, and this is kind of like a good place to come and fall back to when you're in trouble in a relationship. Okay, what needs to be fixed is that feeling of betrayal, right? This kind of like is still lingering in a 3rd week. Even after you get together, you might get together, and then when you go, then you start feeling this, and then you are getting angry, then you're getting in your head, you backstabbed me, or they will get in their head the same. So you're going from really happy warm place with emotions with this like 6 of Cups to, oh my god, this is what happened. Like, it's like kind of like when we are striving toward a goal, adrenaline, we just want it, and we forget all these things why we actually broke up in the first place. So there you go. We have now Ace of Wands, but you're still going to charge. You see, this is kind of like this needs to be repaired, backstabbed. But the good news about it is a 10, so it's the end of the phase. It just goes up from this point. You're kind of recovering, and oh my gosh, you guys, you are indestructible. You're recovering right to 1 beginning, and you want to charge ahead, like really strong energy. So it looks like for you, Leos, really important part is like to talk about it. It looks like the conversation didn't take place about things, and that kind of made you completely imbalanced in that relationship. And when you got imbalanced, you made the other person imbalanced, but it looks like it affected them more than you. And you see here, it's still not decided, like after all this kind of issues and things that are happening, and even possibly getting together, you're kind of like, oh my gosh, now I'm tired, now I'm exhausted, this was like a big thing. Yeah, and look at this, if you guys are married and your partner might kind of hesitate about commitment, or decide again not to go for it, not to go, and again we are going through this back and forth, the energy, oh my god, like make up your mind. Judgment is now saying, look, this shouldn't be that hard, it shouldn't be manipulated, that should be a dull conversation. This is a great card of a judge, this is a bad judge. For some of you though, this could mean retreat. This could mean actually breakdown of a marriage. In fact, for the others, it might mean getting together and starting all over again. For these guys who are breaking down the marriage, something will happen that will immediately make you jump on your feet. Because you have Magician 1 and you have Ace of Wands 1. You might even kind of hook up with a judge. You might hook up with somebody in a courtroom, somebody in the legal system, somebody who is somehow connected to the marriages. It's just like it's going to be like literally a swinging door. It's not going to be even time to have a break and mourn. Guys, Effie, just one more week for Leo. I know that you want to check what's going on. Okay, let's see the last week. You see, yeah, now in your toolbox, this relationship is gone. Even for those of you who got together, you're going to get to this feeling that this is not it. What needs to be glued is like, yeah, like you see, this new start was supposed to feel free of baggage. If you take somebody back, you have to take them back, and most of us can't, because most of us leave the person or they leave us because there are issues that we cannot bridge. And if this conversation doesn't take place, if that understanding is not there and transparency, if there was another person in there, then what's the point of moving forward when we are going to just continue doing the same thing, right? And if you continue doing the same thing, you just don't expect different results. Of course it's going to break again. How you're being seen, there's another Ace, and you are the one who's charging ahead, and this kind of falls through. You maybe meet somebody else, you're breaking this relationship down, and you're cutting it off here. See, 10 to 1 of swords, and this is a 1 and this is a 1. Third week, there is a big beginning for you, something completely new. Something completely new. It's just like phew, unbelievable. There you go again, another one. 10 is a 1, right? 1 and 0 is 1. Something really good will happen. It's a lucky break on top of that. He all of a sudden, or she, will become defensive, unstable. Karma is saying, yeah, you know what, good for you, get out of this kind of like self-imposed kind of like torture, thinking about it. It's kind of healing from kind of feeling backstabbed. And yeah, start moving on, and please move on carefully, slowly, day at a time. So Leo, if you want your private reading, please contact me, because your own energies could be completely different than this. And so this is kind of interesting. Some of you will kind of go through meeting somebody, getting back to someone who you knew, discussing it. You have like 3 6s here, and like they're also connected. So it will be really interesting for you to give me in comments what is going on. And yeah, I would like to see, because there is like actually 3 different storylines In any case, I think you'll be in a really charge most of the time. So good for you, Leos. Tell us all how to do it. I can't wait to hear from you. Love you, and contact me for your private reading.